Hey Falcons fans, are you feeling the nostalgia mixed with excitement over a potential reunion that could reignite our offense? Could Calvin Ridley, a former first-round pick and fan favorite of the Atlanta Falcons, really be on the verge of a surprising return to Flowery Branch from the Tennessee Titans? That's the emotionally charged rumor heating up as the NFL trade deadline approaches on November 4th. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into everything Falcons with raw passion and deep analysis. Today, we're breaking down the latest buzz about Ridley possibly coming back to Atlanta, why it could address our offensive struggles, and whether the risks outweigh the rewards. Stick with me. This is a storyline dripping with history and hope. Let's set the scene with where the Falcons stand. Sitting at 3-3 in the 2025 season, Atlanta is at a critical crossroads offensively. The release of Ray McCloud and Darnell Mooney's slow recovery from injury have left our wide receiver core thin and inconsistent. While Bijan Robinson's brilliance has kept the attack afloat, it's painfully clear that our young quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., needs more reliable targets to unlock his potential. With the trade deadline looming, sources close to the team reveal that the Falcons are actively scouring the market for reinforcements. While big names like Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave have surfaced in rumors, a more familiar and deeply sentimental option is gaining traction behind closed doors. Calvin Ridley, the explosive receiver who once dazzled in a Falcons uniform. Now, let's talk about Ridley's current situation and why a return makes sense. Drafted by Atlanta in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft, Ridley became a cornerstone of our offense, posting back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons before personal challenges, and a trade to the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2022. Now with the Tennessee Titans, he's continued to produce, surpassing 1,000 yards in each of the last two seasons. However, the Titans are in the midst of a turbulent rebuild following the firing of their head coach, and Ridley's hefty four-year, $92 million contract is reportedly viewed as a financial burden. For the Falcons, bringing him back could be a calculated risk with high upside. Ridley already knows our system, has chemistry with key locker room figures, and still holds a special place in the hearts of many fans. At 30 years old, he's got the veteran savvy and speed to open up the field, giving Penix a proven weapon to lean on in his second year. Let's explore the on-field fit. Ridley's ability to generate separation and attack vertically would be a massive boost for an offense lacking explosion and depth beyond Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Picture Penix dropping back, scanning the field, and finding Ridley streaking past a corner on a go route for a 40-yard gain. That's the kind of playmaking we've missed. His presence would force defenses to respect the deep threat, creating more space for London in contested situations and Pitts over the middle. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson could craft a more dynamic playbook, balancing Bijan's ground dominance with a revitalized passing game. Ridley's familiarity with Atlanta's culture and schemes could also ease his mid-season integration, a critical factor with the trade deadline so close. Of course, there are significant hurdles to consider. Financially, Ridley's $23 million annual cap hit is a heavy lift. Even with Penix on a rookie deal, GM Terry Fontenot would need to work magic to manage the salary cap, possibly restructuring the contract or convincing Tennessee to eat part of it. Trade cost is another concern. While an unnamed NFC executive suggested to Atlanta Daily Sports that a late-round pick might suffice, others worry about sacrificing future draft capital for a team that hasn't yet proven consistent. Journalist Josh Kendall of The Athletic cautioned against rash moves, noting, "Atlanta can't afford to give up future assets for a team that hasn't proven consistency." A win in San Francisco would have changed the narrative, but now caution is needed. There's also the emotional baggage. Ridley's departure in 2022, tied to a gambling suspension and subsequent trade, left some fans with mixed feelings, though many still cherish his contributions. Here's my take. I'm torn but leaning toward making this reunion happen if the price is right. Ridley's familiarity and proven production could be the spark our offense needs to support Penix, especially with our receiver room depleted. A late-round pick, say a 5th or 6th, feels like a fair gamble for a player who knows our system and can contribute immediately. The $92 million contract is daunting, but if we can negotiate a favorable split with the Titans, it's manageable during Penix's cheap years. I trust Fontenot to avoid overpaying, and the emotional lift of Ridley returning, reuniting with a fan base and reigniting old magic, could boost team morale. However, if the cost creeps into mid-round picks or the cap hit becomes unworkable, I'd pivot to cheaper options like Jacoby Myers. With urgency brewing at Flowery Branch, we can't stand pat, but we must balance nostalgia with pragmatism. As we wrap this up, let's dream for a moment. Imagine Calvin Ridley back in red and black, hauling in a touchdown pass from Penix at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the crowd erupting as old memories flood back. That's the kind of storybook chapter this trade could write. A homecoming that fuels a playoff push. So, I'm tossing this to you. Should the Falcons take a chance on bringing Calvin Ridley back to Atlanta, or play it safe and avoid the financial and emotional risks? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Push for Ridley's return, or look elsewhere for receiver help. I'm pumped to hear your take. And if this breakdown of a surprising sentimental trade rumor got your heart racing, smash that like button to show some support. We've got more Falcons updates and deadline rumors coming your way, so stay locked in. Until next time, let's keep hoping and rise up.